Hey guys, how's it going? This is I don't even know what you want to call it. Is there a name on it anywhere? It's like a tow behind backhoe that is getting cleaned out from a property. Has a name over here. Gopher Digger. Model something, something, something. It is, looks like it's been sitting here a while. All the hydraulics are down, which is gonna be an issue because you can't move it at all. I grabbed the jumper pack. We're gonna try putting power to it and see if anything spins on the engine. If we can get the engine to spin, possibly we can get the, appendages up in the air a little bit. Might be a little bit easier to try and transport. So without further ado, we are gonna go hook that up. I think the battery's under there. We gotta try to find a key for that. But I think that's just like a regular lawnmower key. Does that mower have a key in it right there? It might be the same as that one.
If not, we got a bowl for the keys.
Okay. That's the style. I think it is. Let's see what we get. Just fires right up. No. Get out of here. No kidding. Let's let me go prop you guys on the ground. Yeah, I don't know if it'll start up.
But it's not locked up. No.
Yeah, that's good. Let's go see if it'll do anything. It's gotta be like a choke and stuff on it somewhere on the throttle. Pretty bad. Let me go see if we can go crank it and just see if any of the hydraulics will go up. Let's see if swing it. I think we may need a little bit more power for it, but yeah, I think we probably get the at least the appendages in. Do you think you have an extension cord that can run out here to a battery charger? We can kind of hook it up.
Yeah.
Or that building right there, maybe we can run a cord off of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the power there. So.
And then I'll at least try to we can get all the stuff up. Possibly we can get it on the trailer. I think it's going to be kind of wide though. I'll go measure the wheels.
Okay.
And we'll go from there. Nice. I'm going to go pop this cover off and see what we got.
A little bit of gas in there.
Then we can get a date on the battery. It might give us an idea. But it had power, so that was really... I think this is 9 to 24.
Wow.
I wonder if we tried to get it running, because it looks like it's been sitting here. Like the tires are flat in the ground and everything. I wonder if we tried to get it running.
Maybe.
And just didn't get that part. Because it doesn't look like it's moved at all.
No.
Looking at like how far it was stuck in the ground, Like if you got to fire it up, you would have.
Yeah.
That may be the case of what it is. So this thing self-drives too. I guess you can tow it behind on a car.
Yeah.
But then the wheels have little hydraulic motors on them, so it probably doesn't do fast. We could ride it around your yard to to work it. We're getting power. So we found the throttle and the choke underneath the seat on the engine. Got a battery charger. Gonna plug it in, see what we get. And worst case, as long as we can get all the stuff drawn up. Let's go for 20 amps. I might not have power at that outlet. Well, that cord's no good. Yeah, we just weren't plugged into something all that great. So we got power. Let's go see if we can try to get some of the, see if it'll run. We're gonna see if we can get some of the stuff tucked up by just cranking it.
choke. A little bit throttle.
Get out of here.
Stay running.
See if we can figure out where those two are. We want, these are for the wheel drives. Right here, that's this one. We'll just boom in. This one. If that's all the way up or not. Definitely was not expecting that. Sounds like it's running on one cylinder a little bit. That might be just kind of a tune-up thing. The tires are flat. Let's go see if it'll move at all. I don't know if there's I don't know what's in the middle of it. So we decided to load up a couple more pieces of equipment in the front. We have a tractor here that we could pick stuff up and set it off. Or else I would take it back off again. But there's like some other small engine machines. I got to get about another 500 pounds up in the front here. You know, had I known what we were getting into, I would have brought a different trailer. But we're on. We're kind of on. He said he's never driven that tractor before. Yep, we're coming to get this right here. Whole plate compactor. Ground's really soft. And that would have been water to help cool it. Definitely looks like it's been here a day or two. Looks like I took a shit when we were trying to leave, huh?
Do you think two men can pick that up once you get it there? I got some tie downs. I'm gonna stay.
You want me to run the tractor? Are you tired of
I'm
it?
having fun with it.
Okay, go for it. So I'm like I probably showed the loading of the other ones, but we have this thing. I know it's dark. I can see in there. There's adjusting. It looks like it's a cement cutter. You go down. It doesn't have any wheel or anything on it, but that's what it looks like. It does. Got a little Kohler 8 horse. Probably looks like it's from the late 60s, early 70s, judging by the colors of it. But let's see. We're gonna go throw that in there too for some weight, and we could do a see if we can bring it back to life video on that, and possibly another machine or two. We'll see.
That's all I got. I can try manhandling it with you. What's that? You sure? I'll jump off. Want to curl down? Alright, this thing is in the tractor. Keep my toes out of the way, that's all. You go. All the way. I'm gonna let it slide down. Hold on, stop. Oh, okay, that wasn't bad at all. Good job. I was waiting for it to make the block. Up we go. Curl up first. Yeah.
All right, now we're back at the office and a little bit more comfortable. We can kind of take our time. Let's go take a look at what we got. I have the plate removed from here. That's a lot of hoses, huh? Regular lawnmower battery. And it's running a Kohler V twin, probably somewhere between 18 and 20 horse would be my guess on it. And that just runs a big hydraulic pump. It does seem like it runs on one cylinder and it kind of revs up. Maybe the second cylinder kind of kicks in a little bit, but it definitely doesn't have any power. We haven't tried digging with it or anything, but you know, it could also be a hydraulic system that is bogging down. But how many hours are on it? It says 354, which is not bad. Definitely looks like it's got more than that on it though. Plus, you guys think probably sat out in the weather for a long time. So, I don't know if I said it, it's the settlement of an estate, and all the stuff is kind of being gone through. And I believe it was a lot of, like, he would buy stuff at auctions. And this may be one of those machines. I didn't think it was going to run at all. We were really kind of surprised when the thing fired up for us. and did what it did. So somebody was kind of poking around with it, possibly, and then stopped at some point because it didn't run good. I don't know. Let's go get the light on stab mode. Look at the tank. It doesn't look too bad. Some crust and rust on the bottom, but it's not terrible. Doesn't smell terrible. It's got a bit of a yellowness to it, which could also, even just old fuel can kind of do that too. Let's get you popped in a stand. We'll get a better look at it. Let me get the pan rotted out. Is there I'm trying to find a year on the thing somewhere. Definitely gonna get a tire for it. And I guess the idea is you're supposed to be able to tow it behind your car. So it looks like we probably have to unlock these hubs. Right in the center of them. Let's see if that does anything. So we think we probably pull on the center of them. Yeah, you probably turn them one way or another. And we'll put it in neutral. It's gonna click back in. Yeah, so it's got to be able to pull out, turn, and lock on both sides. And that's how you're able to tow it behind a car. And it looks like the front, or the rear, however you want to look at it, you pull a couple of pins, that pintle hitch drops down, takes the tires off the ground. I wonder if you do that with the legs up. Know what I mean? You flip it into the down position, maybe you lock that in the down position. I wouldn't think these would touch, they wouldn't be able to, right? Because they're gonna turn up on an angle like that. And then the trailer hitch plug, the old style. That's that old 4 or 5 pin thing. Yeah, it's got dragged down the road, huh? Then I would guess it's gonna have some trailer lights on the other side. I don't know if you'd register it. And the fenders, there's some lights. Tail lights. See your number up top, a couple of fog lights at one time. There's a little marker light on the boom. I don't see anything where a license plate would have been mounted. Not saying there wasn't, but yeah, that fender's twisted in pretty good. All the hydraulics seem like they work, which is nice. I don't know how tight the pins are. Let's go work on the engine. See if we can kind of figure our engine issues out and see if we can get it to run better. And go from there. We'll also see if anything starts creeping down, if this thing starts getting lowered down to the ground or not. We'll know. All right, let me get you in a stand. We'll pop the air cleaner off, and then we're probably going to pull a plug wire on each side, see if one side does more power than the other. And see if we have any critters living in it. There's that throttle lever underneath the seat too. There's like a choke and then it was a throttle lever. I moved it back and forth. It didn't seem like it really made much of a difference though. Yeah, a little chomping on right there. You need a wrench? Nope. Yeah, somebody was in there nibbling on it a little. Gas smells a little iffy. All right, let's go get it fired up. We're gonna go grab some pliers and go pull plug wire off each side and see what kind of difference we get, if it stays running or not, or one side runs better or the other. We'll know what to look into. Let's see if she'll kick over for us. Try the other side. Well, it actually seemed pretty even. So we may be just dealing with maybe a quality of fuel that is just so low it doesn't want to burn very well and create much power. Let's go get a fuel line off of it and we'll dump some out in a jar. We'll see what it looks like. That's kind of nasty. Huh? Yeah, let's go pop a fuel line off of it and drain some gravity feed out. Yeah, the other thing I was thinking about too was that throttle doesn't seem to be doing much. I wonder if it's just not getting full throttle. And being a power issue, you know, it's revving high, but it's only revving high at quarter throttle, which also could be an issue. Well, let's go start with this stuff. Clip it off. That's a fuel pump. Let's see if we can not break that little plastic fitting off of there. Can you see in the jar? What are you looking at? There you go. Pop with it. Well, that's straight out of the tank. That fuel filter got so much resistance that it won't even flow. Let me crack the cap, make sure it's just not a like your finger up over the. No. Alright, let's go take it off before the filter. That filter tank seems like it's gotta be decently clogged now. We will clamp it above there. Not a fan of these vice grips. They don't have that little kick-off tail to them. Let's see what we get now. I'm not getting anything out of it. Let's go get. I'm gonna go take some compressed air, shoot it into the tank. Cause the tank, the fitting should have been full of gas. It should have fed anyway, but the fitting goes from the top of the tank over and down. Let me go get an air gun and a rag. We'll put some pressure on the inside of the tank and hopefully push it through and see what we got. We're gonna end up changing it anyway, so let's go try that. So I'm just going to make a loose plug that goes over the top of it. Just give it about 2 psi. There it goes. Yeah, it definitely has some age to it. Let that run for a minute. Oh yeah. Yeah, we got to purge that. Sometimes you look down the tank, it looks like it's okay. But in real life, it's that, you know. So, let me take some time. I'm going to go drain that out. We'll get some fresh stuff in it. Let me try cleaning that tank out too. I don't know if I can take it right off. Get some of those chips out of it. Should just gravity feed itself out. Yeah. I'll let that go. While the gas is draining, let's go get the top of the air cleaner off and look into that throttle linkage. It's like somebody sprayed, it's all back here, the choke and the throttle are back here, and then there's a governor and all. Let's see what we got, because no matter what we move that lever, it never went to idle neither. You know, it should calm down and just like chug right along, and it's not doing that. So I suspect we still have some kind of problem. This is a little breather hose. Cruddy. So here's the lever, and then here's our governor, which works the carburetor directly. This is the lever that works. In fact, it's not got all that much movement to it. Let's go try the other way. That does not feel. We'll grab the light. So that's idle, and that's full throttle, but full throttle is only very partial, and there is like some kind of debris down inside the carb, like a cloth material. Let me go get a set of tweezers. I'll pull it out. I don't know if you can see it right now where it is. It's on the upper. Let's go close that throttle. It's on the lower section too. There's like a, almost like a rope kind of looking material. Yeah, no matter what, it's not going to get full throttle. The carburetor itself won't even go full throttle. So we got, what this is, like a, I don't know what it is. It's like packed in around that. Well, somebody tried packing the choke lever, like a cloth, and then down below, you can't see it, there's a chunk of something. See if we can get in there and get it. Gotta change that light out. Stop it. The spankings begin. Let's go see if. It's like, yeah, it's like somebody tried packing. Maybe the bushings were wore out. Oh, that's like it's spazzing now. Yeah, it's all. I'll show you. I'll have you come around this side. We got to take that carb off. There's definitely something going on with it. I'll try to get you in there, but it's this. Yeah, it is. Whatever that material is, right down inside there. You see it at like 10 o'clock. There you go. It's packed around it. And then up top, then there's some up top. Close that choker. It's sticking out of right there. Right there, you can see more of the cloth material. There and then down below, definitely the lower linkage is really packed with it. So I don't know, maybe the throttle plate was really sloppy and they tried fixing it by adding that in there, or it's something that's part of the carburetor. So let's go check the throttle lever function. All right, so that's idle, and that's full throttle, which is pulling on the governor a little bit, right? Yeah. And that's as far as the throttle opens down in the carb, which is only half its dimension. It should be straight up and down like this upper plate, and it's not. So something is stopping that. I don't know if there's a restriction somewhere on it or if it's just out of adjustment. But let's get that carb off of there. It's going to need some love anyway, and let's move forward. Are we done leaking fuel? Yeah, it's looking pretty low. Well, I still got some gas in. I'm going to fire it up. I'm going to let it run. I want to see what it does for full and off throttle. I want to see if the governor part of it, I don't know if you can, yeah, you're not going to be able to see that. If that part is working. Yeah, that should be pulling much harder than that, and also should be backing off like we talked about. All right, let's go fire it up. See if it'll if I can make it go to idle. Yeah, it physically can't even go back to idle. This is all out of the play. It's not even being interrupted by anything. I go to push on this. There's just no more room for this linkage to move that way. Whether there's a stop on the carburetor or something on this arm, is out of place on the governor arm. I'm not sure yet. Still want to get that carb off. So I think I know where the material is coming from in the carb, or came from. It looks like this right here. That got sucked in. Maybe they ran with no air cleaner or something got strung along and the strap went down and was flopping inside there and it got wrapped around the linkages. Maybe that's why it doesn't move very much. All right, let's go operate. So it's going to have a electrical connection in the front, which is a fuel shut off. You turn the key off, it turns power off to it. I should have a wire that we can take off at some point. There it is. Down deep. Don't break. There we go. And we have a choke and a throttle. Let's see if we can get out of there. On my side. So the cover has to get turned towards me. Here's one. So it's tight on the bushing. It's kind of a good thing. Try not to drop dirt down the intake. Yeah, there. The bushing came with it. A little spring that takes the free play out of it. Like that. And we'll shove a paper towel down that hole. Let's go take this carb over to the bench. See what's what. You have to pull that carb off. Here's more of that material right there. Let's get a better look at what we got going on. Let's go bring over a light on the top of us here. My big eyeball in case I need to look in closer. This is the choke side of things. There's a little bit of that material there. Oh yeah, you can see it hanging here. So I don't know if this was inhibiting it. Yeah. How much of it went in the motor? Look at it, it's all wrapped around the throttle plate in there. I have to take that throttle plate off to get it all. It's on both sides of it. Oh, there it goes. Well, first time I've ever seen that in there. Little fuzzies. So now it's closing, but it looks like maybe from the factory they have it set up. It only opens that much throttle. Maybe they're trying to limit the horsepower. We can change that too, can't we? It's definitely restricting the plate though. I wonder if we could just get rid of that altogether. I wonder if sometimes like on a rental company, they see if that's a jet or just like a block or something. It's just a block. And that'll allow us to get full throttle. You want to leave it out? I'm going to go blow in that, see if that's a through passage. I don't want to cut it apart in case we need to go put it back in. But that'll definitely help us get more. Let's go crack it open and see what the insides look at it. We're already this far, right? So let's go make sure that we don't have a bunch of crud. And screwdrivers have a little dot on them. So they are the Japanese screws. And they look like a Phillips, but they're not a Phillips. JIS, JIS. JIS, Japanese Industrial Standard. A lot of motorcycles and everything. What's this car? What was the name of this car? Did you see it? What was it? Yeah. Pretty much motorcycle style carburetor. Japanese carb. And if you see the little dot on top, kind of indicates that's what it is. Let's go give her a couple of them. See how clean. We got mud and stuff in there anyway. Good thing we take it apart and clean it. Yeah, it's definitely got a little bit of sludge. Not terrible. Maybe one of the jets right there we can go pull out. Floats look decent. Gasket looks okay, not much corrosion going around it. I think we're just going to go clean it out. I'm not going to go soak it or anything. We're going to go clean it out and put it back together. I just pull out. Yes, it does. And there's your jet with the little holes in it. O-rings look a little beat up on the bottom. I'm going to try not to mess with them too much, just going to clean them, see if they fall apart. No, I'm going to leave well enough alone because I don't have what it needs to put back together without a carb kit. The rest looks pretty decent. Alright, I'm going to go wash her up, put her back together. We'll leave that out for now. Let's go stab at that with something and see if that just whole bottoms out. I think it does. I'm not seeing anything in the casting there. In that far. I don't believe it's going into any kind of passage. Yeah. Alright, bath time. I know, you wanted to see that out of there. I need to get out of there to clean it anyway. This is just the needle and seat. This is what allows the fuel to turn on and off. Maintain a float level. Looks fine. And the needle looks pretty good. Yeah, fortunately those O-rings are so far gone. Yeah, it already broke. Like I said, I tried the idea so it doesn't leak around them, but it's so far gone. We have to. That one already fell off. There it is. I have to come up with something. I have some nitrile rings. We'll try those. Well, these are essentially doing nothing, so I'm gonna leave that one together for now, just in case. But yeah, I'm gonna go try to get an O-ring for this and get the seal up. If not, you're kind of bypassing what the little vents, the metering or the throttling of the jet is doing. Emulsion tube. Yeah, I think these are gonna be a little too big. Let's try. Maybe we need a little thinner going around it. The idea is okay. It's just that there's too much meat on there. Yeah. See how chunky that is. I don't think it's going to fit down in there. No, that's a no. I didn't think so. All right, we keep poking around. Maybe have a carb kit from something else that may have them in it. That's the smallest one I found in that kit. You think the chances are I can go over to the belt sander and sand some of that off. Let's go take it off of here so I'm not trashing it. And I'll put it like on a screwdriver or something. See if we can whittle that thinner without grinding through it. Gotta get rid of about half of that diameter. That worked so good. I think I'm gonna go take that other one off of there and make another one. That one's, it's dust. Let me see if I can see it through here. Yeah, just get rid of that one. I'm gonna go make one more. And that should work for us. Going in snug. Get in there. There it goes. Oh, it's more like it. I'm gonna eyeball down the side of it and just make sure it didn't pop out, but I think we got it. Carb's back on. I still think we have a linkage issue and or governor issue. I just don't think we're getting the amount of, you know, travel out of it that we should. Choke seems like it's fine, but the throttle just seems like everything's a little on the gummed up side inside here, that cam, which could be just this center nut is just run down too much and it's pinching the pack of all these linkages here. We'll worry about that in a little bit. I'm going to leave it the way it is. We kind of see what we get for a response, see if it'll idle. I think the gas tank is really what I want to kind of deal with. It's just got a lot of in there. Yeah, see all the dirt that's in there. So I think I want to take the tank off of there and rinse all those little particulates out. It picks up from the top. Plus I want to put a new fuel line on it anyway. There's two coming off of it. I mean, I guess is one of them is a breather and one of them is the gas line. But it looks like it's just kind of got two bands going around on each side of it. Should be able to take them off, get that tank out. I'll rinse it out really good. And we'll go from there. Yeah, it just has a fuel line going around. And that other one, I don't know where it goes. I think we just have to do the two front ones though. We should be able to wiggle it out of there. Come on, we're almost there. Yes, it is. Yeah. Be good. There's quite a bit of fuel in it, so it'd be good to get rid of all that crap. Oh yeah. No bugs. Once in a while you see a bee or something come out of it. I'm gonna rinse that in the parts washer to get little bits out of it. I want to get all those speckles out of it. Let's see if we can mediate some of this issue. Little fuzzy hairs getting sucked in the carb. So it's got all new fuel lines on it, and the other one is a vent, the larger one, and it runs down under the tractor. My guess is if like you ever tipped the tractor over, you didn't want the gas leaking on top of the motor. That's just the motorcycles are the same way too. You got a vent tube that runs down. Oh, I love these gas tanks. We'll get it to go. No comment. I don't want to hear from you neither. Yeah, they all suck. I know, metal cans. Metal cans, I know metal cans. Well, we're going to have to bottle feed it a little bit because the fuel pump's going to have to fill it up. Let's go. Which way is considered idle? Things like that. Let's go squirt a little bit of gas in the carb. Get to run on that. We'll kind of give her a couple of hits until that fuel filter fills up. Hopefully it does. Hunting a little bit. Let's go see if that governor's moving. Looking at that right there. The carb is pretty closed. We'll try revving it up. Definitely working kind of weird. Let's go see if it'll fire back up. Just like it won't even hold that throttle position too. Like, you know, it should stay at least. And the throttle is closed in there. Let's go. And that way's open in here. Okay, we got to go start tweaking all this stuff. Let's go see if that'll. Idle might be so low now it doesn't even have an idle. Yeah, I bet you that's what it is. And we go start tweaking some stuff. See if we can get some response out of this. Let's throttle it down. Let's see if it'll go. We'll work it by hand. We'll just see what we get for a response out of it.
holding it steady and it's kind of breaking up. Give it a minute to warm up. I wonder if we have a throttle stop over here somewhere that we can turn up. Still running pretty crappy. Give it a minute. Yeah, tonight I'll see. Sounds like it's losing a cylinder. Go grab the little pliers and pull the plugs off. See if we can see one that's not doing. See if they're both doing something. I was just kicking on one. This one's easier to get to. No, I'm not going to use those. They don't have the. Where'd they go? Could even just have bad plug, you know. Might zap me. I don't have the insulation on the pliers. Alright. So that one seems like it's definitely killing it. Let's go see if it'll fire up. You hear it popping. See if it's just on that side that it's running. Yeah, this side's doing nothing. That side's doing all the work, this side's doing nothing. Okay. Alright, this side's kind of coming and going on it. Let's just go look at the simple stuff. Let's go get the plug out of it and see what that looks like. Possibly you have no compression or low compression or an issue mechanically on this side. So, you remember that strap I was talking about? I see something right here. More of the same. Yeah, it's pretty clear. It's this is air cooled, so there's a possibility we have some debris inside on the cooling part of it. The water you see dripping over here, that's just water coming out of the seat that's lifting up. It's not gas. But let's get the plug out of it. Oh, it's the right size. Yeah. I think somebody put the wrong size plug in it, and it's real close to the fins. Ooh, she's coming out nasty. Definitely. It should be like a 5/8 socket plug instead of a what's that, a 13/16, 11/16. So there wasn't even enough room for the socket to fit alongside it. Yeah. Oof, that's carboned up pretty good. Yeah, like the sidewalls were too fat. Try looking up, see what's supposed to be in there. I know you can't see very good. The light just died. There's the plugs that came out of it. That one is the side that was running, the, how you want to call it, the driver's side. And the passenger side, you can see how much darker that one is. So definitely been having an issue not running on that side compared to that side. I don't even know if, again, if they're the right plug and heat range and all that kind of stuff. You see Delco. It could be blowing out on that side, could have no compression. Let's go grab a compression tester. I don't know if it's got a decompression valve in it or not, which will kind of screw up the readings, but let's see what we get a difference from side to side. If we do get a, you know, one's 120 and another one's 60, then we know that's kind of the area that we're having an issue with. All right, this is the side that was running on. And I'm not really too concerned about the number, just the difference between the two. Let's see what we get. 125 seems about normal. Let's see what the other side tells us. See if we're just chasing a spark issue or if we're chasing a compression issue. And the gauge is up here. Reached over and get to the key switch. About the same. Good. I'm happy for that. And I got two new plugs in it. Not the correct plugs, but they're plugs. Let's just go see if it makes any difference. Let it settle in for a bit. Get a little bit of heat in it. Sounds like it's kicking on both sides, but rough. Go pull the wire off the other side, see what happens. Oh, she's arctic, good old pliers, boy. Look at that. What if that boot is feed on the end? Let it work on that one side for a minute. I do think there's something wrong with the spark plug boot with a wire on the other side. I don't know if it showed up on the camera, the amount of arcing that was going on. Look at that. It's just weird. They tried digging up another boot. You could just go change that boot out of there. I don't know if it's maybe trying to arc to the tin around it or not. But it should be kind of, you know, you hear it skipping a beat. That's what I'm trying to get rid of. Yeah, let's see if we can work that off of there. Sometimes it'll rip the whole wire right out of it, though. You know, sometimes they bond them pretty good. Break loose. I'm going to take like a little probe, stick it behind here, try to break the seal of the boot off, and we'll get the boot out of there. And we'll take a look at that wire on the end of it, see if there's any issue with it. Yeah, it's not like you can just change that spark plug wire. You can change the boot, you can get it off. But the wire is part of the coil. And you got to take that front tin off to get to them. There's two coils in there.
see just what we got going on here. I'm just trying to break the bond between the wire and the boot right now. Walking around it. Yeah, I wanted to be able to inspect this. Looks all right. I'm gonna dig up another boot. Crack in it, right there. Either way, it's zapping through it, and it really shouldn't. Well, one would think I would have a spark plug boot of some sort around that looks something like that one. I don't. But I got one off of like a 3.5 horse Briggs or something. Just shoved it on there. See if it just exhibits the same thing, you know, the zapping. No. Yeah, so that boot definitely was no good. You can see the arc to the side. But at least it's not arcing to me anymore. It does have a hole in the muffler too, which isn't helping things. The sound of it, you know. I'm gonna try to turn the idle up a little bit. That's a little too low. I just gave it a hair a choke. It's running a little lean. We could have the gasket on the bottom not be any good, or just the fact that the air cleaner is not on it could also be an issue. So I'm gonna throw the air cleaner on real quick, give it a shot, and see if it makes a difference. Just choke off. You cover it with your fingers a little. But I'm just blocking off the top of the intake just a little bit. It seems to kind of bounce up a little bit. So I'm gonna get the air cleaner back on, see if it makes any difference. It sometimes does make a difference, especially if it's right on the verge. Let it run like crap. Sounds pretty good. Let's give it a second. I was just putting the tin back on it. Because there's no air fuel adjustment on this. Yeah, you can even hear it pick up. I still don't think our throttle's set up right. Let's see what happens if we go to rev it up. I have to hold it for it to rev. It's not like it's. I can definitely tell like the linkage is just not. It seems like it doesn't. It's not set up right. Let's get this bungee cord out of here if I can. I don't want it to get sucked in the fan. Fine. Go across. Watch my light. Yeah. I think the engine's running bad. I think that just the linkage is shit.
there's a stop on the throttle shaft should have a stop on it, right on the carb. And it's like, it's allowed to float all over the place to where there isn't even any gas coming through. It should be able to set that positive stop up for the idle, and then have the other governor part work independent. It doesn't seem to be doing that. I'm gonna put a load on it with the hydraulics. That was kind of skipping on too. It already sounds much better than it did when we first drove it in now. You can see that corner is dropping down. Let's go run some levers, see what it does to the motor. Not stalling it. Definitely hear the load is on the engine, but it's running on 2 cylinders. If I hold there, I could probably stall it if I just hold it in and on curl. There's a bypass on the hydraulic, so once the hydraulics hit a certain pressure, it bypasses the fluid, say whatever, it's 2,000 pounds or something like that. Once you run a control too hard, then it goes, the fluid just has a path going that it goes in an override. So, but it still bogs down on the engine. Good, it seems like it stays good. I definitely need to work on some linkage stuff, and I may copy off of another engine I have and see if something is just put together incorrectly or I am missing something on it. Get a seat. The seat's just kind of puking out a bunch of rust. I might have something else upstairs for that. That one's pretty toasty. That's the original one. It says it right on it. Go for Digger. Right, let's back off on that pivot bolt. So it just seems like it's got it bound up a little too much. Yeah, it feels like stuff's moving freer because it was. I should have showed before I went with it. Let's go put it back where it was. Yeah, it's kind of chalky. You would think you would kind of like be free moving, not have drag. Yeah, let's give that a shot. There's that throttle lever moving. I still need something to hold that throttle in place. There's something has to, like a lot of times you have a throttle you pull out and you turn it, locks it. It's like we're missing that part of it. Yeah, we're gonna just a little bit more play. Yeah, let's just see what it does now. I'm gonna set the air cleaner on it. So I wonder if, like, when you let off and the idle goes down, the governor goes down, it just sticks there, and then when the RPMs come back up, the governor goes to recorrect, and it just doesn't do it. Yeah, I'm gonna let go of it if it dies. Yeah, still the same thing. You gotta figure out what's the deal with the throttle stop on it. Behind the choke, it is right there. That has to get running again. So that's the stop, the positive stop. I'm trying to grab it with my fingers right now. That the carb should see, and that should be, determine the idle speed. Instead, it's just allowed to kind of float wherever it wants. We're working off the governor. So I'm gonna try to get in there and turn that in a little bit. I have to remove this plate right here to get a shot at it.
Let's go with, see if we can get on it. I'm going a little too high on it, and then we could back it off once we kind of realize where it is. It's definitely not turning great though. One of those fuzzies were stopping it from closing, and whoever was working on it before was trying to back the idle off. It's a wooden idle. Meanwhile, the throttle plate was being blocked by that cloth that was in there. Man, I can't get a straight shot on it. There was a little access hole in the panel, but I still couldn't get it. It is really frozen. Rusted up. You think a guy, when he took the carb off, he would have tried to do something with that. See if we can get it now with the car flipped up. Get it out of there, I'll clean it up. Man. It doesn't strip out by the time I get it, you know. It'll break. Holy. So I tried working it back and forth with the screwdriver, and the head snapped off. Great. Well, we are going to try some vice grips on it and doing the old, if it'll want to go. Yeah, we're getting no movement out of that at all. I may have to cut it off and drill it out. I've never had one of these seize up that bad. Yeah. Just rounding it off. It's gonna break there. And it's not like you can put too much heat on it. But I'm gonna go take time and fix that. And I'll bring you back. So we drilled it out, tapped it out, and ran a screw in it, and went all the way through and broke the outer cage off. I suck. Sometimes they just go that way. I'm trying to think of what I can do to try to get around it. What I'm thinking now is possibly I'm going to build something up on the arm. You can't solder to that, and aluminum and solder don't like play very well together. But I think I'm going to go try to build something up on here. One thing I did find though, I took the shutoff off, and there is a air fuel mix right there. Go figure. Every time that I don't take a carb apart all the way apart and disassemble it and clean it and do like I know I should because I think it doesn't look too bad, I end up going back in. I should learn. I should learn my lessons, especially on that one. Well, sometimes I just get stubborn and I want to fight back, and that's what I did. So I ended up welding 2 little nuts to the inside of the arm. Took the arm right out of it and welded a couple of nuts on it. Cleared that boss. This is where that original bolt was going in. If we have to, we can still put it back in if we need to, but I don't think so. And then just made the stop coming from the other direction. So we still have a throttle that works. We still have a position that we can stop and make the idle. Hopefully, as long as there's nothing down here that gets in the way when it goes to turn, it only goes that far. That's full throttle. I don't think it'll get in the way of the linkage, but I don't know. If so, I could always go with a much shorter screw on it than that. But for now, I'm going to go throw that on there and see how we make out. Like a bomb went off. All right, no air cleaner on it. Hooked it back up again. Let's see if we can get a idle out of it. It's got to fill the bowl up again.
get to the adjustment, actually, I think might be even a little easier. I don't know if I can get it with the air cleaner on, but let's. I did back out in the air fuel mix just a little bit. Again, it's cold. You gotta wait for it to get a little bit of heat in it. Yeah, I'm gonna run the air fuel mix in now. I'm gonna tweak it. Probably gonna put the tin on. I'm gonna run it in a little bit, put the tin on, and see if we can zero it in. Well, it's definitely better. It's still, something's not quite right in it. I don't know, maybe those O-rings in that carb sealing off that a little bit. Not quite sure. I still haven't even got into having it rev up yet. But for tonight, I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna leave the two outriggers down. We'll see in the morning how they are, if they're still up in the air, whether they leak or not. I'd say we probably got, I don't know, 4 inches off the ground on that one. This one's kind of hard to tell because it's got a beat tire. About the same, a little bit more. It's level, we'll call it that. It's a level right now. Let's go see what we get in the morning. Alright guys, well, it's the next day. Apparently the hydraulics have worked themselves down on both sides. Seems even. It kind of to be expected. It's not like it's going to stay forever, but it's just kind of good to get an example or an idea of what's happening. And we have a little helper. Where are you, buddy? Bam, come. Sit. He's going to hang out with us today. Want a snack? Okay. Okay. Take it. So he's going to hang out with us today and hopefully stay out of trouble. So kind of thought about what's going on. I didn't show it on camera, but I got it to idle like it should. But if you go and rev it up, it kind of breaks up when you rev it up, and then when you let off, it does stall again. So it is acting like an intake leak or possibly a tight valve. I tried looking up the VIN number. Some of these are hydraulic lifters. Some of them have a valve adjustment. The compression looked good on both of them. I don't think that is the problem, but you know, it still possibly could. It's still looking more like an intake leak. I'm not quite sure what we need to go tear apart to go look at where the intake manifold meets with the cylinder heads, but possibly we were having an issue in that area, and I think I want to try and pursue that. So without further ado, let's go dig back into it, start taking some stuff apart, and see if we could find something along those lines that possibly is an issue. Still in the troubleshooting phase of it. Getting better. I mean, we're getting closer to having it run decent, but still not going to be enough for you to physically run the machine like it should. Is that good? Alright, I'll leave you alone. Yum, 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 yum. Yum, 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 yum. I don't know if I got them all or not. Let's go see if it'll pull away. Plus, we want to see what we got for mouse nests anyway. Very common stuff that's left outside. They get critters in them. I got one still attached on the upper left up there. I think I got it. It's the one that was hiding on me. Why are you barking? It's okay. It's okay. You know. Attention seeker. Go lay down. It's okay. He hears the noise outside and he flips out. He's just like that at the house too. Alright, settle down. We got work to do. Critters. At least you can see the intake manifold. That's good. Somebody's been hanging out there, huh? There's essentially just 2 bolts on this side, 2 bolts on the other side.
Whether they're going to come out of the cylinder head or not, I do not know. One thing you can kind of do is you can start up and run it, and you hit a spray, like a carb cleaner or something like that, something that's flammable, and you spray the flanges. If you hear the RPM or the engine change at all, then you know you have a leak there. I am trying not to run too much exhaust in here at the moment, because then I have to open the door and let all the heat out. I'm going to eyeball it real quick, see if I see anything that looks obvious kind of coming around it. But we may end up having to do that. It could be at the base of the carb too, but I didn't see anything the first time around. Yeah, we're gonna have to run it and spray it. I really have no choice to try to figure out anything. I don't see anything, but again, we're gonna go try the spray trick. Air cleaner's off it, so it may fight us a little bit on how it wants to run. Choke is on. Try to look back at the base of the carb. Kind of indicating the base of the carb. So I'm going to pop that carb off again, see if I can see anything on that base gasket. Possibly there's an issue. Didn't look bad, but you know, it's hard to tell if you don't have a little air space in between there. But it didn't make any difference on either side of the manifold. So, all right, it's a little bit of a plot twist. So I started dumping the carb out in the bowl that we were, having a fuel out, so I can just go take a look at it, flip it around, and the gas was coming out very yellow. And like, did I put old gas back in it? So I went over to the can that we filled it with. No, it was clean fuel. I replaced all the fuel lines, cleaned the tank. The only thing I did not take apart was the fuel pump. Fuel pump's not all that big. I don't, it has to be like washout from the fuel pump that did that caused that fuel to be that yellow. And here's see the difference of what, that's even diluted what was in there. And the carb was pretty clean, so it's not like it soaked itself up from the carb. Not quite sure, but the only thing I can think of is, it has to be inside the fuel pump. All the new fuel lines, everything was replaced. Only other thing was the pickup tube inside the gas tank. There's a metal tube that goes down the center of it. Of course, that wasn't replaced, but I blew through it. There was no fuel sitting in it. But definitely residue is coming from somewhere that is causing a little bit of an issue. Possibly just not the quality of fuel that wants to burn, So I'm going to go through, I'm going to go disassemble it further, clean it better, see if I could see anywhere where there was a leak somewhere causing it to do what it did. The port, somebody's going to bring it up. The port that I took that stop out of, that is a closed chamber. It doesn't go anywhere. If you go to spray contact cleaner inside there, it just kicks right back at you. So it's not like there's an intake leak through that area. There's nothing there, and there's nothing there. There's no hole going anywhere. So that's not the issue. But I don't know, possibly just a residue of a fuel coming through. Kind of doubt it. We got a jet to go pull down. Again, I'm going to go clean it a little bit better. Again, that's what happens when you half-ass it. You kind of know. You're like, it didn't look that bad. I'm not going to tear the whole thing apart. And here we are. So I'm going to go pull some jets out of it and check out those O-rings, make sure they're still good and all that kind of stuff. So going back to the machine, just kind of checking to see what we got. So definitely the fuel that in it is clean, because at the fuel filter, the fuel is clean right there. Let's go. I don't know if it'll trickle some out, but let's go see what we get. Yeah, look at that. What's coming out of that? Now it's running clean. So, definitely a contaminant in the fuel pump. And again, this line was replaced to it and that line was replaced to it. So that had really gunked itself up and started putting out some stale fuel. Whether that was causing what the problem is, you had to kind of run a little bit of richness to it. Yeah, that didn't contain all that much fuel, but it definitely had remnants of bad fuel like stuck in the diaphragm. This may end up failing on us fairly shortly too, if that's the case. But we got fresh fuel kind of coming out. I'll let that sit for a little bit longer. And I'll put the car back together. We'll flush it one more time. We'll see how this comes back and see if it gets stays clear or keeps getting dirty. Then we'll know to go change that pump out. But yeah, definitely, it was weird. I thought I put the wrong stuff back in. I thought I put the same stuff back in that was sitting in it. Hey, hopefully it's not too out of focus. But all right, so here's that jet that we took out, and here's the O-ring that we made. And I took them both off again. Because one thing that kind of got me, I went to go try to spray through here, and I couldn't get a passage going clear through. And I noticed closely there was holes there. I have a feeling there's only supposed to be one O-ring here, and there wasn't supposed to be an O-ring here, because this passage from here to here does go through, but it just doesn't go from here into this area. So I have a feeling either someone had it apart and put two O-rings there before, or that O-ring sheared itself off. And yeah, without looking at the past part of the video, was it two separate O-rings that were on there, or did this shear off and make like a second O-ring here? And I was just mistaken on that. So I'm going to go take the one that I made, go put that back on there, put it all back in like it was, and that also could be a problem with it. Starting to look like that more and more. Lessons learned. Right, Pam? Fell out of gas. He was playing and he ran out of gas, didn't you? As you were. All right, so the carb's all back together, and this is the fuel. Don't worry about the dirt. I never cleaned the cup out, but you can still see coming out of that fuel pump, it's still a little tinted each time. Eventually you should get clean, but right now we got clean fuel going to the carb. Let's go fire it up, see what it does, and see if we can make some smoother engine running. I haven't put the engine tin back on. We'll leave it off for now. Let's go give her a prime, because it's going to have to fill itself up again. Think about that, Bam. See if it stays calm. It always seems like it starts okay, but then after about a minute or so, it starts breaking up. Let's just go see what it does. I also have everything open on the front so I can adjust the air fuel mix. I ran it out 2 turns, which is kind of your normal starting point. I'll make you jump. Sounds better. Sounds better. Off. I gotta try backing off the screw for the idle speed. Get it calm down even more. Kind of see how it's doing. Just gotta watch out for the fan. Don't need by that, you know.
much better. I think that's what our deal was. That's why I wasn't getting much of a difference out of the air fuel mix. Alright, I'm gonna go shut it down. Keep hitting the light on the button. I'm gonna go shut down, back off a little bit, and I gotta open the door and put the dog in the other room for a little bit, and we'll let it run. We get around 5 minutes with that fan kind of open. That shroud though directs the cooling air across the cylinder heads. I blew all these fins out in case there was any debris left in them that can cause some overheating, but it's looking pretty good. That's pretty good right there. Let's go rev it up and see if it'll die. That's the joke. Perfect. Good. Yeah, that's got it. Good. I'm gonna go button up all the covers on it again. Sounding nice. Yeah, now we got to kind of dial it. We might have to tweak it a little bit more when we put the air cleaner back on it. We may change it up a little bit, but we are definitely within the ballpark now, finally. Got everything buttoned up. I didn't get the air cleaner back on. I want to work on that throttle setup. So the choke seems like it works fine. And then here's the throttle. The throttle has a high and a low that it can push, which is this adjustment right here and this adjustment right here. And then going down to the governor, influences the governor, is this lever right here. You can see the governor moving down below. So that's what allows me to hit full throttle, which would be that way. Pushes on that tab harder. When the engine runs, this kicks back to about right here. The governor actually pulls off and makes it go towards idle. That's idle right there. And then that's revved up. But there's nothing holding pressure. Like as soon as I let go of this and if the engine goes and starts up, it's just going to back the throttle right off. You say, well, you can go tighten that point. If I tighten this point up, it binds all of them up. Whether that's supposed to be not the case, like maybe there's a bushing underneath that leaves this one free, but allows this one to tighten up. I kind of doubt it. It looks like a bunch of stuff's been bent up. Like this is bent down. It shouldn't be bent like that. This bracket right here is twisted on an angle like that. I'm kind of wondering maybe this pivot point right here should be the resistance to hold its position. That's just a guess. So let's go take these two screws out and see if there's anything in here, any like kind of pack that I can kind of tighten up and cause a little bit more pressure on it. If there's any kind of adjustment up inside here. Yeah, it's got a bunch of, it's got like adjustment on it. That kind of looks like what it should be, right? Like this packing, look at that arm's all bent out of the way too. It shouldn't be like that. I have a feeling all this packing that's in here is supposed to be adjustable, and you put a preload on it that keeps this from dragging. So can I get this out of here? Yeah, I'm gonna work on getting this out of here. I'm gonna go put a bunch of stuff, bend it back up. I'm gonna go take all this apart. That probably looks like it's a rubber or something. Yeah, and it's just wore out. That's my guess. This is supposed to maintain the tension, and it's supposed to have a high and a low, which is that tab, which has been kicked off to the side, and it's supposed to probably rest against that stop right there. Yeah, it looks like a bunch of stuff has been definitely manhandled. Then they tried to, shoot a bunch of grease in here to fix it after they tightened down on that, and that wasn't gonna, it's just gonna hold the throttle position where it wouldn't go back to idle, or when you revved it up, you locked the governor in place essentially. So let me go get into that. Yeah, so I took it on a wire wheel and cleaned it off, and somebody's definitely been here before us. Looks like the rod broke off. They welded it back together. I have a feeling when they welded it back together, they just kind of stuck it back together, and it melted whatever bushings were in here to cause the drag and made it so it was sloppy. And it looks like that tab is supposed to line up to there and lock inside there, maybe helping with the drag. So it would have drag from both sides. That's why it bridged over the top of the middle section, and that since has gotten twisted out too. And then you would just, again, crush down on the packing to put the correct amount of drag that you have on it, hence that adjustment set up. I'm not going to bother showing you. I'm going to go take it all apart, try to probably find some nylon bushings to go in there and whatever that thing is, and try to rebuild it, bend it back into shape, and get it back on there so that it does what it's supposed to do. I think we have a little bit more playing to go down here yet too, but let's go see what happens after we fix this first. And there we go in the after. Yeah, I just took it apart. There already was the discs that were in there. Again, it's keyed on both sides of it, and just stacked some more washers after cleaning everything up, bending all the linkages back, and now it has drag to stay where we put the throttle, and we could adjust it. We either give it a little bit more, a little bit less on that. One thing I'm kind of concerned about is possibly, did they weld that in the wrong location, and the lever will be facing in the wrong spot? One thing I noticed too, how long has this been running? Just the chatter where it goes through the sheet metal is cutting through the lever. I'm not gonna worry about that for now. Anyway, I'm gonna go throw all that back together, put it back on, and see if it will do what it needs to do. And then we have to do, again, I think some tweaking in here, but let's go put it together and see what we get. All right. Now let's see what we get. So much more positive. There we go. That's it kind of stays where it wants to go. Let's go fire it up, and we'll see if that is idle. And then we want this to be around like a little over 3 grand, 3,500 RPM. That would be full RPM on it. And I think if we have to do more adjustment, it's going to be with these tongs, or at least this one right here. That's the one that is acceleration. And you can see how it holds it there. Hopefully. We'll see when the governor fights back if it pushes that back. This is all still free. This linkage is still free. Go bend that down. Bend it up to get the rod out. Should probably get rid of that bend too. Now let's just try it. We still don't have the air cleaner on it yet neither, but choke it. Be idle. That needs to be a little bit higher than that. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to take that screw and loosen it up and run it in a little further, get a little higher RPMs. It doesn't need to be like a generator. You want to run at 3,600 RPM so it makes 60 hertz. This isn't quite as important than that, but you want to be where the power is. More than that's probably 2,000 RPM, and idle is probably 800 by the sound of it, something around there. Crack that loose and we get the nut to back off. Give it a decent amount. Seems like it needs a decent more push than what it had,
gonna try that. Now you may vibrate like crazy if I try starting you up where it is, but let's go see. Working good, but you can see I need a little bit more drag on this. It's still allowing it to push back when the governor kind of kicks in. I can leave the RPMs around there. We'll see how the machine kind of operates. If we want more out of it, we'll give it a little bit more there, but I got to tighten up on that packing just a little more so this wants to hold in place. Probably why it has that double, see if I can get in there without taking it apart. Well, it has that double packing to it. Can I get on it? Might be linkages and stuff in the way. Yeah, that screw's in the way. I go just take the one out. There you go. Let's get rid of it now. It would be like that, right? Let's go fire it up. Try it one more time. I'll leave that screw out till we get it right. Good. I think we'll leave it right there. Definitely how it was designed to work, and it just was beat up. All right, I'm going to go button a bunch of stuff up and see where we are. We're kind of getting a little long on time on this one. I have no idea if this tire holds air or not, but I figured I'd give it a shot. I kind of want to function check it, if I can test it a little. Sounds like it's just pissing right out the back. There we go. Ideally, a couple of snow tires would be in order, you know. That's for another day. Seems like it's holding. All right, let's back you up, and we'll fire it up. We just kind of run through the function check a little bit. We'll see if before, as soon as I went to go power the wheels and move it at all, it just died. No matter if the tire had air in it or the one that was flat, it should just be able to move no problem without really bogging it down much. Well, I can tell you the seat doesn't leave much to be desired. And that pan is really just a gene terror. Let's go see what happens. It's already got me. Feels like they sit quite high above the controls, but maybe that's for the view of it. I think I am at Well, I think we're good function-wise. Everything seems to be doing what it's supposed to be doing. And at an idle, the governor is even kicking in and kind of like keeping the RPMs up at its level, but that lever is still not holding the RPMs up. I got to crank down a little bit more to hold it in its throttle position, but it seemed to work out pretty good. Everything's doing what it should be doing. We got a bunch more to work on it. I'm not sure. We'll see how this video does. I may or may not do a second one on it on video. Either way, I'm going to work on it to get it, you know, more complete, you know, all the repairs done. I checked the oil in it. Someone's going to ask me that. That's the first thing we kind of did, make sure it had oil in it. But it needs all that kind of service on it. The seat's junk, it needs that. It has lights that are up top, and when you're working, they're all busted off. And, you know, again, tires on it. The fender on this side is cattywampus, sitting on an angle like that. So everything else looks pretty good though. All the hydraulics seem to be working. I had the lock on, that's why the bucket wouldn't go down. Had to release that. But it seems like it's functioning pretty good. Plus we could go check out and see what the how that tow mode works. You know, you drop that lever down, those tires come off the ground, and I think, and it's supposed to function as far as towing it behind a car. I think. Not sure of that. All right, guys. With that, I think we're gonna go sign off. Ma'am and I are gonna go home. We're gonna go eat. I want to thank y'all for hanging out. Had a little bit of fun. This one kind of got me a little bit. I had to work on it to figure out what was going on as far as its I think I want to call it misrepair, incorrect repairs that were done in the past, which caused a bunch of its issues. I want to look back on that clip too and see if there was actually 2 O-rings on that emulsion tube setup, or if there was only one and it just sheared off and pushed over the other one. I thought it looked like 2, but who knows. All right, guys, with that, thanks. I'll see you later. You want to say goodbye? You want to say goodbye to everybody? How old are you now? Bim's a little over 2. He weighs between 145 and 150 pounds. He's a rescue from Mississippi. And we got you when you were 4 months old, I think, right around there. Something like that. They found him and his brother running down the side of the road in Mississippi. And the owners, they knew where they came from. The owners did not want them. And his brother was adopted in Mississippi, and Bam got shipped up here. And we got him, right? You like it better up here? Especially during the summer? It's not so hot. Let me get you. Get your dirty hand away from me. Have you, paw? Alright, guys. Now we're gone. Wanna go home? Go see Mama? Wanna go for a ride? Wanna go for a ride? Alright, let's go. We're out here. Stinks. Sachet.